We appreciate you being here. I can only barely imagine the difficulty and the concern that you had in making these public statements. I do appreciate your candor. I appreciate you sharing this part of your life with this committee and the legislature. I wish all of you safe speed. You'll be in our prayers. And thank you so much for this testimony. Mr. Ellis, if you would close, and then we'll have a few questions.
Thank you, Chairman, and if the patient panel would just stay there till I'm done. Over the last 30 to 45 minutes, you've heard from 7 patients who represent about half of the serious conditions that will allow patients to enroll in the Safe Access program. These are all serious conditions, and unlike other state medical cannabis programs, Safe Access will not allow physicians to recommend cannabis off-label. Patients must have one of these 14 conditions. You've heard from, again, 7 people, about 2/3 of whom admitted using cannabis here in testimony. Their experience is not at all uncommon. If you look at just 4 of our eligible conditions, HIV/AIDS, MS, cancer, and hepatitis C, we estimate that over 25,000 sick Tennesseans today are going to the streets to buy cannabis just in these 4 conditions, and there are 10 other qualifying conditions. So we may have 60 to 70,000 otherwise law-abiding Tennesseans having to go to the street for relief. This is my last slide. There are 3 things we really want this program to do. The Safe Access program will allow seriously ill Tennesseans to obtain medical cannabis safely and legally as soon as they're eligible for as long as they're eligible. We want to ensure that those patients obtain medical cannabis of consistent, high quality, safe, effective, reliable, and inexpensive. And we want to administer a program here in Tennessee that is self-supporting, that is tightly controlled at all phases of production, processing, and distribution, and that serves the needs of these seriously ill Tennesseans. Our program model has been described nationally as the most tightly controlled program yet proposed, and yet the most patient-friendly program, which is a very nice combination that we hope to achieve. Thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts for the attention that you've given us. These people represent, again, 10,000 per person sitting up there who also would hope and pray that the committee will move forward. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer questions.
We'll open the floor to questions or comments for the members. Any questions or comments? Representative Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just really want to make a real quick comment and just say thank you to each one of the individuals that chose to be here today, and just to speak out from your perspective and share your story. And certainly, Seth, I appreciate you being here as well, as he's one of my constituents. I just appreciate you all sharing your heart. That's a big deal, and it means a lot to this committee. Where we go from here is kind of a question mark, as it were. But the fact that you all would be willing to come here and share your heart, your story, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Further comments or questions? Vice Chair Williams.
I, too, just want to take the opportunity to thank you for your courage to come here and communicate, to help better educate this committee about the challenge that you individually face, and going forward as we start this dialogue in the subcommittee. And appreciate the time and effort. I know some of you come to great length, and having children of my own, I know how passionate you are about this process. And just want to take the time to say thank you. We are hearing your concerns, and thank you for coming today.
We have, yes, Representative Jernigan.
Again, I guess I want to echo my colleagues' thoughts, and I'm going to hear it next week in subcommittee as well. But I just wanted to let you all know, to say thank you, and that I will tell you that I do publicly support this bill, and I hope that we can move forward, and I'll try to encourage my colleagues to do the same. Thank you so much for coming.
If not, Mr. Ellis, and, oh, I'm sorry, Chairman Wiggo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And since this bill has been introduced or talked about, we've received many emails from my constituents. And I guess our conservative side of us makes believe that we heard the word marijuana to be such a bad thing. But I have to bring myself to the educate myself. And I ask, is there a process out there that it's done through a pill or something for some of you all, rather than what, help me answer that question for me if you can.
The drug Marinol has been available for about 3 decades. It's a synthesized pure THC. It's a Schedule III drug, prescribed primarily for nausea. It does not work as well as the whole plant cannabis, both because it has only one component and because it has to be taken orally. The effects take upwards of an hour to be received, and about half of the medication is deactivated in the liver because it's taken orally. Throughout centuries of use, this has been a smoked item. Fortunately, the growth of medical cannabis programs around the country has caused a device called a vaporizer to be developed now, which allows patients to inhale vapors from the whole plant cannabis that the cannabis is never burned. It's simply heated up enough to release the beneficial medicines. So the patient gets exposure to no carbon monoxide, no tars. And it allows them, as several patients have said, to be very precise with the dosage. There are a few other medications, cannabis-derived, in the pipeline. At least one of them has been in the pipeline for 10 years now and has been available in other English-speaking countries all that time. So we believe that as the shackles are taken off this plant, there will be a host of innovative ways in which it can be used appropriately. I've mentioned only 2 of the ways. There are at least half a dozen ways that patients now can use it to precisely control their own conditions.
Thank you, because I ask myself, how does a 2-year-old or someone of that other fact that is unable to, what I guess you would call smoke it, how are they able to take this medicine or it help them?
That's an excellent question. Not only the pediatric patients, but other patients benefit from what is called generically a cannabis oil that's derived from the plant and then normally taken orally or with food. And I believe that's how the children are pretty much accessing cannabis. It's available as tinctures, it's available as oils, and lotions. There are a variety of mechanisms for providing it. And Penn, if I wasn't complete with that response.
No, I mean, he is exactly right. You take this in an oil form, it is delivered through a G-tube with food. It's whole plant broken down into an oil, mixed with coconut oil, and delivered through a G-tube.
And again, I'm sure you heard it, but I constantly am astounded that a young child that's been on a cannabis medicine for 5 weeks already has experienced 75% reduction in seizures. You know, this is a very exciting new arena for those of us interested in the area, but it confirms what all of the other patients have said too, that this is a very powerful and useful medication that has been called by one DEA administrative law judge who took testimony for 2 years on cannabis. He called it the safest therapeutically active substance known to man, and that was in 1988. There's been no change in that conclusion since.
We have gone from 3 to 400 seizures a day to 1 to 5. The infantile spasms are gone, completely gone. We have not noticed a spasm in more than 14 days. We've had 2 days where we've had one seizure in a 24-hour span, which is unheard of for us. So it has been nothing short of a miracle.
And this is taken with your 2-year-old through an oil process and things of that other nature.
It is an oil that is broken down into coconut oil, and we deliver 0.5 milliliters through a syringe. So I mean, we're talking about a very minute amount, 3 times a day with food.
And you moved from Tennessee to Colorado because obviously in Colorado it is legal.
Correct.
And there is, what amount of dosage do the Colorado laws, just out of curiosity, allow for someone in your daughter's condition? I'm assuming that it.
I was afraid y'all were going to ask this. It's a complicated dosing procedure, but it's all based on milligrams versus weight. So obviously, the more a child weighs, the more of the product that they will take. Our daughter is taking 1.5 mLs per day. So when you break, I mean, it's obviously a very minute amount. We have a friend there who is 14 years old. They're from the state of Alabama. And this is a pretty miraculous story. But she was having 25, 30 drop seizures a day. She has gone 21 days without a seizure. She was learning to eat with a fork. She was learning to obey commands, simple commands like come here and sit down. She walked 2 miles the other day. And she also is on, she adds a little extra THC into her mixture. But her dosing is quite a bit more than what we're on. So as Millie will progress and grow, we will actually give her more product and more product. Let me say this then, there's no psychoactive THC in the product that we are giving them. There is, but it is a very minute amount. You could use this product, you could give her the entire product, it would not kill her, it may make her a little sick, and it would not get her high.
I guess my final question here is, because it's legal in Colorado, does your health insurance cover this medication?
Health insurance does not cover this medication. We've been in Colorado for 6 weeks, so we are still learning some of the nuances with their program out there. However, the medication for us at this point, with her being so small, is roughly about $60 a month. The Sabril that we were on before was $60,000 a month. Allie Swan, the girl from Alabama, her medication is about $963 a month. $963 a month is a lot of money to someone such as us. But when you take, in terms of $963 a month versus $60,000 that the state of Tennessee was paying, because we cannot afford that, it's not even comparable in cost.
Thank you. I appreciate you all being here to answer my questions today.
Quick addition on the insurance question. Because cannabis is still a Schedule I drug, that limits insurance companies' ability to cover. Although in California, we understand now that the Medi-Cal program, which is their Medicaid program, is now covering medical cannabis costs. So that may change over time.
We're running short on time, Leader Odom. Further questions or comments? If not, I want to say again how much I appreciate all of you being here. I appreciate the veterans that have served this country, your sacrifice. And so we'll release you. We will take at this time any testimony in opposition. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your sacrifice to be here.
Thank you.